Strahd, what happened to the ambush? Where were they? Where were you? Things took a turn. It has been handled. I have orders for you, Kirill. I have been too lenient. I want a pack out in force across the whole valley. We are not taking prisoners. Now hold on just one bloody second, Strahd. None of this was part of our deal. You keep Emil locked up. We keep the Rangers in their hiding hole. That's what we agreed. The agreement has been altered. Hang on, what happened to your eye? Silence, dog! I am master here. I command. You obey. The hand that feeds can also bite back. Am I clear? Yes. Good dog. Now go. Drown these villagers in their own blood.
Hey Dungeoneers, thanks so much for joining us for another episode of the Strahdcast. If you like what we do here, remember to follow us on YouTube or subscribe via your favorite podcast app to get notified every time we release new episodes. Thanks again, and take your listen with advantage. When last we left our heroes, the magical brazier deposited them in a lonely, abandoned tower on the steep slopes of Mount Gakis. While they wrestled to get their bearings and convince Emil to join their cause, Strahd arrived. His rage was untethered at the sight of Drogar wearing his older brother's armor, and the Count decided our heroes needed to be taught a lesson. A vicious battle ensued, and Artemis, the ranger, the soldier, the friend, the hero, gave his life to the cause. Satisfied that they were effectively curtailed, Strahd fled, but not before the whole party held him down and Drogar ripped out the devil's eye. Though Strahd is gone, our party is bereft, isolated, and lost in the mountains. Will they find sanctuary soon? Find out now on the Strahdcast. Close your eyes. Take a deep breath. Shuffle off this mortal coil and transport yourselves to the far, foggy realm of Barovia.
So Drogar in the tower will look at Kaz and go, "You lead the way. I'll take the child with me. We will keep in tow. Whatever happens, don't stop moving. We're not out of the woods yet."
Stay close.
Yes. Oh. He goes over and he grabs 2 of the torches and he hands you one. And he takes one for himself. Right. Where's Winnie? Winnie! Winnie! And so he'll run to the window and he'll look out.
Perception check.
It's a 15 on the die.
Winnie?
Yeah, she's just standing with her, if you look out that open window, her back is to you.
Yeah, but I see her like out there.
She's just standing in the snow, like wind whipping past her, like arms hanging at her side, and she's just looking off into the distance.
Drogar will feel under his pauldron for where he thinks Pasha is, and he doesn't feel anything.
Yeah, he's not there.
Guys, we must go. And Drogar will scale down, out the window, scale down, and we'll go over to Winnie. And we'll just put a gentle hand, like, he'll stand next to her and just put, like arms around her to, like shield her from this whipping wind that is just...
At first, she jumps and hits your hand away.
Yeah.
And as she turns around to look at you, she's just, from the cold, is pale.
Yeah.
Red-eyed. I'm well below, like, half health, so she's just, like, bruised and bleeding, and she looks exhausted.
Right. So Drogar kind of looks at you and looks you dead in the eye, and just, like, there's a silent conversation going on.
I think it's one-sided.
Yeah.
Really, when you look into her eyes, it's like a state of shock.
Yeah.
That not even like when we were in the woods the first time we lost Pasha.
Yeah.
She was mad then. She was
she's
pissed. She's nothing.
Yeah. So Drogar will strong-arm it, and he's going to wrap his cloak around you and kind of pull you in to, like, and like, I imagine it's almost like a dog, how it, like, wraps itself into a ball. He kind of does this with his tail and everything, and like it's almost like this little fort.
Like a little igloo around her.
Yeah, there's like this draping, and the torch is inside as well. And he goes, "Stay strong, little one." He's gonna put a little, the most delicate hand on your cheek, and I'm gonna cast Life Transference.
What the heck?
Fucking A.
And you get 16 points of healing. And I take 16 points of damage. As I literally Jedi you part of my life essence. And I just and you feel this life energy traveling through Drogar's hand, and it touches your cheek, and it's warm. And maybe it smells of something that makes you feel
Cinnamon.
warm inside. And it just embodies you with this gasp of energy. And you see Drogar, you see a little bit of sunken, his eyes kind of go sunken a little bit. And at the last minute, is the sunken goes away and the brightness returns to his cheek as he also burns his last channel divinity. And he just goes, "Come." And he scoops you up, and he keeps the drape over you, and his head comes out from under the drape, and he looks back to Kaz, who's, I would assume, is close in tow, maybe?
I think I've started. She's because if I remember correctly, the snow is pretty deep, so I think I'm knowing that it's going to be slow. I'm
Trudging through.
taking those big laborious steps, making a path for the rest of you.
You're going to take 10 points of healing.
Okay.
Winnie, you're going to take an additional 14 points of healing from that channel divinity.
Wow. That's got me almost
So this
back.
burst, this blast of energy, and there's a part of Drogar that's that last battle, he was unscathed.
Mm-hmm.
And there was so much that there's so much that he didn't do that was unsaid, so much that he wishes that he could have done.
Mm-hmm.
And so now he's doing what he can.
Yeah.
And so with Winnie wrapped in this this little kind of bundle, I will trudge after Kaz as we make ourselves down the mountainside.
Okay. Making your way down the mountain?
Yeah.
Okay. I really hate to do this, but please make me a survival check.
Yeah.
Everybody?
Well,
Whoever wants to.
I got a 18.
that's
18?
That's a natural one for me.
Okay, so and just for context, it's not super close to Yester Hill.
Yeah.
So here's where you popped out, right here,
Mm-hmm.
and then Yester Hill is here.
Okay.
So you can see it from the mountaintop, and
But
that's
there's
really
a whole forest between us.
Yeah. But as you make your way down the mountain, the snow is driving so thick. But after a minute, Kaz, kind of plowing your way through. There is a mountain path that can be followed, and it's kind of hard to stick to necessarily because of the driving snow. But you manage to maneuver everyone down the mountainside without too much trouble.
Yeah.
At a certain point, when you go ahead.
Just I think she's still raging. She has not come out of her rage.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, so it's just it's laser focus.
You stay in it as long as you take the damage every turn, and you're taking a lot of emotional turmoil. So.
And Drogar is
I forgot about that.
as Drogar is holding Winnie and marching down with this torch, he just keeps yelling to Kaz, Kaz, do you have sight of the path? As he's trying to whip through. Mm-hmm. And I imagine Kaz, the Clydesdale horse that she is in this moment, is just isn't even deterring. It's just straight on, isn't even squinting, just just moving.
Yeah.
So to paint the picture, it's like in the Fellowship of the Rings when they're trying to go over Caradhras.
Oh yes, on the mountain pass,
on the mountainside, yeah, and there's a storm whipping around them, and so.
And I'm very much Gandalf in that moment, and you were very much Legolas, heading down the
And it is also it is getting very, very dark. The sun was setting when you appeared in the tower.
Yeah.
So we're really going by torch. I'm going by torchlight. You're going by dark vision.
Dark vision, and also, I have eagle eyes. I can,
Right.
But as you make your way down the path, even following along this trench that Kaz is carving through the deep snow, it's just not easy. The wind is ripping its way through you, like tearing warmth from your body. It's freezing. It's maybe the coldest all of you have ever been in your life.
Yeah.
So everyone please give me a Constitution saving throw at disadvantage.
We need to.
Oh yeah.
Oh, wow.
Well, Drogar is at disadvantage because old. Winnie is disadvantaged because small. And Kaz is disadvantaged because plowing through snow.
Yeah.
There you go.
8.
8.
16.
13.
8, 16, 13. You do okay, but you do okay at first, but then the sun goes down.
Yeah.
And so you're just trying to, Kaz, your job becomes even more difficult. You're trying to like keep eyes on this path, but it's harder and harder to do as the light descends. Drogar and Winnie, it's just the cold. It's just too cold. Even Winnie like bundled up with Drogar as you're so tiny, and it's like it's got to be like it's negative degrees up here, and with the wind chill, it's just ripping through you. So everyone's going to take a level of exhaustion.
Shit. Hate that.
When I was about Winnie's age, I twirled baton in the Christmas parade. And the costume for the Christmas parade was tights and a sequin red leotard.
Okay.
And white
With no
canvas
arms?
tennis shoes.
Yeah. Jesus.
And when we reached the end of we're twirling baton actively. When we reached the end of the parade, me and my sister got in the car to warm our hands, and it was so painful.
Yeah.
We were so cold warming our hands in the car that we were just crying.
Yeah.
And
It's
I
that
think-
cold where you can't even tell if it's hot or cold anymore.
Yeah.
It just burns.
I think Winnie is like, she has her eyes closed like she's trying to sleep, and she's curled up against you, and she just is like,
I feel like
can't
this
stop.
whole
She can't
body
stop
convulsing,
shaking. She's
yeah.
just like vibrate, and she'll like try and take a deep breath every now and then, and she just can't stop shaking.
Suddenly, while you're like up against my chest, you feel one spot that's just extraordinarily warmer. Like right next to your cheek, maybe.
Yeah, I think I would
That
put my
gives like
cheek
some
against it and
relief.
put my hand up.
And then we like zoom out and we see Drogar, and he just looks like hollow. Like it's almost like he's pushing all of the heat that he has to like that section. He's just trying to make sure that the little one makes it through this final gauntlet.
I'm going to start looking for shelter. Whether that's some sort of cave or like just digging
As it starts whipping,
into the snow.
Yeah, you have no idea how far you've actually traveled.
Yeah.
The pace has been so slow, and it is truly, truly dark now.
Yeah.
So why don't you give me, Kaz, then another survival check.
Okay.
Guidance.
Thank you. Is this affected by exhaustion?
Yes, it's disadvantage on all ability checks, I think, right? For that first level of exhaustion?
I'm going to take a look.
Yeah.
I forget. Is this not on your
Disadvantage
DM
on
screen?
ability checks.
Okay.
Oh, it is. Is it?
Exhaustion?
No, it's not.
No? What?
What?
Kind of discount DM screen
be,
did we get you? All right.
No, it isn't. That's weird. You would
That
think
is
it would
weird.
be.
Yeah, I would think it would be on your DM screen.
Levels of
whatever. Okay, survival, disadvantage with guidance. Oh, shit. 4 on the d20, 4 on the guidance, so bad and good, and then plus 4 to survival, so that's 4 to 12.
Yeah, so you try, Kaz, but you just can't. You whip your head around trying to make heads or tails of where you are and find anything that could provide a little bit of cover from the wind and snow. But it's too dark. You can't see more than 5 feet. You know, even with the torches, like maybe visibility is like 10 feet right now. It's not great.
Well, how deep is the snow?
It's getting slow. It's maybe like at this point, it's not up to your waists anymore like it was, but it's still maybe 2 or 3 feet deep.
Drogar will get like will like bump into Kaz.
Well, not quite burrow deep, but
And
maybe
like
it would
and
be.
puts a hand on her shoulder and just kind of like puts his head up next to hers so that she can hear like with the whipping and just go, the tree line. We have to get to the tree line. We can't be out in the open any longer.
She'll just keep
Carry
trudging
on.
forward, yeah.
And as she like Mario runs through the snow, like Drogar is just like lifting his foot and like putting it into like her footholes as he's moving.
I think you have like a trench to work with.
Yeah,
Just, like making a trench. I'm like a moose. You ever see a moose run through the snow?
I hold onto the little moose tail.
So you
We're
carry.
laughing because we'd cry otherwise.
Everybody give me, or Kaz, give me another survival check at disadvantage if you're still trying to lead the way.
Guidance.
Thank you. Okay.
I gotta learn how to do that.
I'm going to do different dice, actually. That was an easy. Okay, so 10 plus 3 plus 21.
21?
Yeah.
Whoa.
10 was the lower roll. 10 plus 3 plus 8. 10 plus 3 plus 4.
17.
Yeah, 17.
17.
Still not bad.
I was adding 8. Oh, I was adding 8 because the other die rolled an 18, but that doesn't matter.
Sadly.
I just saw the number 8, and I was like, that's the one.
17.
Yeah.
You carry on it. Like, Kaz, pretty much the only thing that you can go by now is that the snow is getting lower.
Yeah.
Right? It's the blind bleeding the blind at this point. It's pitch dark, and you're just stuck in the swirling wind. Everyone give me another Constitution saving throw, please.
With
At
disadvantage?
disadvantage, yeah.
I'm gonna roll my 2 tiny die.
Oh my God. Trevor, come look at that.
What is it?
Oh.
Whoa! You don't get that every day. Double
was-
20.
2 20s?
Yeah, you got the double 20.
Nice.
Wow. That's dadvantage.
That's advantage.
I gotta take a picture
You
of
got
that.
advantage. All right, I got a 10 and a 13, so 16 total.
4.
16, 4. Okay.
Then I'll put 20 something.
24.
I saw you almost point to
almost
me,
did it.
Trevor.
I'm sorry, Tyler. I'm
Rude.
sorry.
This sucks.
It sucks. How bad is it? The first thing you have to do after Artemis dies is a survival check, like, regardless, right?
The ghost of Artie's like, come on.
He's sitting by a fireplace watching and be like, that sucks.
Boy, glad I escaped that one.
Bet you wish you saved me now, huh?
Okay. Kaz and Winnie, you are going to take a second level of exhaustion, which means now disadvantage on ability checks and your speed is halved.
Dang.
I think I'm not walking, so I don't think that changes.
Not for your actual travel purposes, but
But
it's true.
yeah.
Yeah. So, what's that like, Kaz? You feel your strength start to go out of you. You were fighting off the cold better than your compatriots at first, but now having trudged your way through the snow all the way down this mountain, I think you've been walking who knows how long at this point. It could be hours, it could be minutes, it could be days.
I think it has happened without her really noticing, but her rage has gone away only on a physiological level. Mentally, she's still raging, but the rage, it is no
adrenaline is
longer,
left her
the
body.
adrenaline's out. And also, like, she is incredibly hardy, but she's accustomed to warm climates. Like, she will be the last one to suffer a heat stroke, but like this cold is sort of a new thing to her.
Yeah, so it's bad. It's not great.
Trevor will, in this moment, cast light. He's actually going to put light like on his hand and just hold it up and just like let it radiate around him, just so that he can attempt to see how
Great.
close they are to the tree line.
Great, and I think that's actually what gets you over the Constitution check too. Like, for a moment, sending up this flare gives everybody maybe a little bit more of a boost.
Yeah.
That's great, Drogar. And since you got the double 20, let's just roll that in. It's not great, right?
Wolves appear.
You're trudging, Kaz. I think maybe like this speed having, like, maybe you just involuntarily go down to one knee.
Yeah.
You know?
Just can't feel her legs.
Right, can't feel legs anymore. No way. Dimitri is trudging along with you. His arm is still broken, right? And so, like, he can't even really help casting spells to... Jesus. Yeah, it's not... Yeah. And you still have Emil and Zuleika coming along. They tarry behind a little bit because Zuleika has to help support Emil's weight. So... They've been trudging along too. It's not looking good, and the wind keeps howling, and the dark of the night feels like it's closing in around you. You all kind of like have this moment where you stop in the snow, and it's just not looking good. Like, the cold is closing in around you. You can still hear like Strahd's like vicious taunts and voice carried on the wind. And for a moment, maybe it's just really quiet and there's nothing but the wind around you and the darkness closing in, and then Drogar.
And it like goes out like a lighthouse. And you see, like,
And it's faint,
tears are, like, frozen to the side of his eyes. Like, it's just so brutal.
And I think you have to kind of struggle to maintain it. Like, it's a little flickery.
Yeah, like, he has to concentrate on a cantrip. Like, that's how hard it is. Like, this natural thing he has to really think about to conjure up.
And with that light, it gives you just enough that you can kind of start to make out the tree line. And both of you, like, taking in your surroundings a little bit more after sending up this light, you can either continue down the mountainside and sort of follow the path that's been pretty reliably leading you. However, that's going to be kind of a roundabout way back if you're trying to get to Yester Hill. Or you could try to cut right through the woods, like down the hillside and just come out on top of it. But that means cutting through the forest.
Yeah.
So that's what you see before you.
I think Drogar just grabs your shoulder and seeing the woods ahead of us, I think Drogar trudges past you because now you're 30 feet of movement.
Yeah.
It's half your.
I'm half, but
So
normally
you're at
it would be
15,
30,
right?
Yeah.
So
No, normally it'd be 40. It's 20.
Oh, so you're at 20. So
Yeah.
we have the same movement speed
Okay.
now. So because I didn't take a half and I'm at 20 normally. So I grab your I think I like grab your shoulder like the strap of the fur around you and just go, "Come on, you trooper," and like pulls you and is just like moving through on pure adrenaline to get to that tree line.
Yeah. Just get some shelter.
Yeah.
Carrying on into the forest.
I think so. Yeah.
Okay. Kaz, give me, or whoever is leading, give me another survival. And everyone give me one more con.
Oh no.
Okay.
Natural one.
On the survival?
Yep.
On the survival for me, that's a 21.
Okay.
And then on the con,
Oh yeah. Let me do the
that's
out of the box. 19 for the con.
19 for the con.
1 survival, 19 con.
the con for me is a 5.
Well, actually,
So 4 for
strictly speaking, the survival was a 5, but it's a natural one either way.
Okay.
So I succeeded on the survival. You made it through the con. But we are not in good shape. Not in good
You
shape.
make your way into the tree line, and as you move deeper and deeper into the forest, it starts to get. It's not as piercingly cold anymore. It's still pretty cold, but the snow has fallen away largely, and it's not quite so violently cold anymore. However, now you are now contending with the harsh landscape of the Barovian forests, so it's not necessarily any easier. 21.
21 on the survival.
Boy. You're trying. You had a strong sense of direction, Drogar, from when you sent up light. But once you get into the forest, it's impossible. You know, because you're losing sight of your sort of a marker, so to speak.
Right.
Once you get into the forest,
I've reached my marker. Now I don't know where to go from there. Right.
yeah, you continue to wander. But the forests, I don't know. It just starts being like. Did we pass that tree already? Did we, you know what I mean? Did we go by that? That moss on that rock looks familiar. Without Artie, it's because you are appreciating how hard it is.
I'm just looking for like anything that is where like a rock meets the ground that's on the right side of the wind. We need to sleep. We need to just rest somewhere.
I think as we're marching,
Trying to make camp.
Yeah.
I think as we're marching, I think Drogar is going to start calling out Zari's name.
Oh, okay.
I think he's gonna.
Oh, wow.
I think he's just like it's like when they're lost in a storm and they're calling for like their parent almost. Like I think Drogar is just like I imagine that Kaz is like right in front of him and he's got the shoulder to lead. You know, like they're like the blind leading the blind. And I've got Winnie under one arm and we've got Zuleika and Emil behind us and I'm just yelling with whatever hoarse breath I have left.
Give me a performance check.
I cast thaumaturgy.
And make his voice louder?
3 times louder.
Great!
Fucking yes.
Do it with advantage.
Great, because I only have a +1 in performance. Okay. That is an 18 performance check.
Ooh.
Tell me about it.
Yeah, so I think Drogar's, he's like, it starts off, and it's just like, Zarya! Zarya! God, this is cold. And like just zooms out at the last minute, and like we zoom in and we just see Winnie with like one little hand against the chest, and he goes, like thaumaturgy gets cast, and it's like, sorry.
And you hear it echo off the mountains around you.
Birds.
Take like a cacophony of birds takes off into the air, and you hear it echo for a few moments, and then finally, after what feels like a long, long time, it finally just like echoes out of existence.
And I think at that point, from that, Drogar just falls to his knees. Like that was with the wind, and now I'm guessing I'm at a second level of exhaustion because I got a 5.
Everyone is now, I think somewhere on 3. Kaz, I think, did you fail all 3?
No, you succeeded the second one, I think.
succeeded the con check.
Or the third one, yeah.
Oh, the con check, yeah.
2.
Well, I did well.
3. I think Winnie's at 3.
Winnie's at 3.
I'm at 2.
Drogar's at 2. And Kaz is at 2. Yeah.
Jesus, Murphy.
Yeah. So what do you want to do? There's no immediate response incoming or anything, but you do hear it echo out across the mountains.
Yeah. Just anything that is out of the wind, which I am hoping will be easier to find now that we're in the forest. Just like a hole in the ground. The nook between a rock and the floor, just something.
Give me a perception check.
Like I'm pulling you both down to the floor with me, and we're going the fuck to sleep. What am I doing again?
Perception. Or investigation, whatever you like.
I choose perception.
I'm going to do...
I do.
You're unconscious, I thought.
No, I just fell to my knees.
Oh, okay.
Well, you're
dead yet.
well, you're dead.
I'm only flavor unconscious. Okay, yeah. The rolls are reflecting how tired I actually am. Yeah. Perception. That's a 6.
Can I roll a... I want to do an insight to see how close together the trees are.
How close together the trees are gathered?
Yeah, like...
To try to get a sense of, like, how close to the edge of the forest you are, maybe? Is that the idea?
Well, I have something else planned, but
never mind then.
I'm sorry. I just read that the 6th level of exhaustion just says death.
Yes.
So I don't.
Yeah, Winnie's at 3.
Woof.
They're all pretty tightly packed.
They are.
Yes.
Then I don't care. That was a 6. It's not great. We're sleeping on the fucking forest floor. And, like, I am just spooning both of you and wrapping everyone up in my wolf pelt, and we're going the fuck to sleep.
Is your axe available?
I have many things, yes.
Drogar is...
I have many pelts.
You're just going to see this. You see this helpless effort as Drogar grabs your axe and goes to one of the trees and just starts swinging with one hand because he's got Winnie bundled up, and he just goes... when he's trying to knock the tree down, like he
bounces off the bark.
Yeah, he's like trying to get through it to try to make like some sort of like structure.
Kaz will just walk up to you.
If you're going to kill yourself, fine, but give me the girl.
You do this then.
No, I'm going to sleep.
And I like grab Winnie and just like wrap her up in my wolf pelt, and I just lie down at the foot of a tree. Hopefully in between a couple of roots if I can manage it.
It's the most, you've maybe find a tree that like has a little bit of a hollow in it.
Yeah.
That gives a little bit of protection, but otherwise you're just out there. But everyone just kind of tucking in.
Yeah. I think
you're gonna have a disadvantage on anything you try to do at this point.
Yeah.
So
Damn it.
but it's up to
Sit
it's up to you.
Yeah, I think that's the consensus. Yeah.
So just trying to hang out by okay.
As Winnie feels you settle, you just...
No, I'm sorry. No. Drogar is going to go up to this tree.
Let's drag this out.
Drogar is going to go right up to this tree that he was trying to hit, and he's going to guiding bolt it and try to take it down. To give us some sort of structure that we can lean up against so that we're not like out.
We have structure. We're leaning against the tree.
We have roots in the tree, but like if the tree goes down, we can nuzzle ourselves into like
give it a shot.
The ferns and shit so that we're not getting ripped apart by
Roll to hit.
That is an 18.
Roll damage.
What's the HP on an ancient oak tree?
We don't know if it's ancient
Frozen
or not.
ancient oak tree.
We don't know if it's ancient or not.
You don't know what tree I picked.
He picked one like about the size of a guiding bolt can knock down.
That's 9 points of damage.
9. That's just not. It's not enough. You just can't summon the energy to guide a bolt in the way that you usually do, and like a little simmers up, but it kind of just ineffectually like wafts against the bark of the tree.
Fuck. All right.
From underneath the pelt, you just hear Kaz, who is literally just like holding Winnie like a freaking teddy bear, just like she kind of pokes her head out and goes,
Drogar, know when to admit defeat.
and that sentence has a few extra barbs on it.
Right. Drogar will admit defeat, and we'll sit next to Kaz, and we'll take the cloak and
you
just
all
kind of like...
cuddle, you all snuggle.
Yes.
It's like it's just a bunch of spoons in the forest.
Yep.
Zuleika transforms into a wolf and kind of like curls up and wraps herself around Emil, who kind of like lays against her chest. And Dimitri walks over to your huddle, still holding his broken arm. Can I get in on that? And he turns into a raven just to be smaller.
Yeah.
And kind of like cuddles in, you know.
I think he can actually fit inside the plate armor. If he's a raven, he can like squeeze in there and be right up against me if he wants.
Are birds cold-blooded? No? Okay, good.
It is still true that nobody knows where Pasha is, if that's on anybody's mind. But if everyone is too tired, then we just pass out.
Yeah, it's on my mind, but I'm too tired to give a shit.
Okay, great. And we knock out.
As you settle down against the tree, you hear a little voice from inside your pelt say, "It," and then Drogar casts Guiding Bolt, and she doesn't finish what she was going to say.
Okay. I have enough energy to be mildly curious, but not enough to say anything.
Okay. You go to sleep, waking up then, and it feels like as soon as you close your eyes, you get the gentle grays of morning. It feels like, I don't know, you probably, if the sun rises at 5:30, you probably all actually like collapsed at this tree at like 4:45.
Oh.
So,
yeah.
Right?
Jeez.
But you get a little bit of rest, and I'm going to say everyone give me another Constitution check.
Oh my god.
And this is to see, because it's not really a full night's rest.
Definitely not a long rest.
I'm gonna roll two.
Wow. Nat
I'm gonna
20.
roll two D20s.
Jesus Christ.
Wait a second. Are we rolling a disadvantage?
No, just a straight one.
Oh, just a
I
straight
should,
one?
I should just re-roll then, because I don't know which one of those I should actually count with.
Just a straight one.
Great. Okay. Constitution is 16.
16.
16.
Mm-hmm.
That's good.
Winnie?
Just a regular?
Yes.
15.
15.
Oh, that's a nat 20 for a 22.
Right. All right, so everyone will remove one level of exhaustion.
Sweet.
As we go into the next day?
Yeah.
So I'm still at 2 levels of exhaustion the next day.
Yeah, you are.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Back down to 1, baby.
It takes a night's rest to get rid of a level of exhaustion.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
8 hours.
A level.
Correct. Yes.
Would you count that as a short rest?
It's mechanically we're going to call it a long rest. I just had you do the cold to see if you got the level of exhaustion off.
Okay, so it is a long rest.
Yes, so you'll get everything back, and you'll get your level 8 stuff.
Well, shit. All right, great.
Okay.
But I still have 2 levels of exhaustion.
Yes, but you still have remaining levels of exhaustion.
Okay.
You remove 1, so I think that puts Winnie at 2, Kaz at 1, and Drogar at 1.
Yes.
Right?
Of exhaustion, yes.
So I'm going to hit a long rest here and then give myself exhaustion.
Level 8.
Level 1.
Oh, damn! I just saw what my HP is now that we're level 8 and I don't have necrotic damage anymore.
Wow.
It's high!
Wow.
What is it?
It's very high!
It's almost...
It's a big number!
It's almost 100.
Okay.
So you awake the next day, and the time is yours.
Oh, God.
Are we still like freezing our asses off?
No, it's not so. It's more regular temperature down here now. It's still cold. I mean, you slept outside, so yes, it's cold. But it's not the wind, the driving snow and freezing temperatures anymore. You're back in like Barovia, like where you're the climate you're accustomed to, which is still cold and awful. But you know what I mean.
We like as we stir and awake. I think Drogar just goes like, and you see the cape come off and like all this snow, this excess like snowfall that's just it just flies off with it. And he just kind of stands up and he goes, Dimitri.
Yeah, and he turns back.
Oh, his little broken wing.
Yeah. His raven, his little wing hangs down to the side.
Oh.
I've never heard this bad. I don't know if mechanically I can try. Well, you tell me, DM. What would be more effective in healing him? Whether it would be cure wounds, whether it would be some sort of healing spell, or whether life transference and giving him
Same.
the same?
Yeah.
Do you have like a... I thought you were going to say between just giving him HP back or doing like a lesser restoration or something.
I have lesser restoration, but I don't know if that...
No, that's not, less restoration is like conditions.
Yeah, it's like blindness. Like restoration, maybe.
Sure.
Like full spell, but I... okay, great. So I'm gonna cast at 3rd level. I'm gonna cast Cure Wounds
On Dimitri.
on Dimitri.
Okay. Yeah, you can see like...
Try to attempt to maybe unbreak the arm. He won't bring him to full health, but maybe I can.
Say you love me again.
Unbreak my
Well, that's 18 points of healing.
Yeah. So you see, like, his face all last night and this morning, his face is like screwed up in overwhelming pain. You could see beads of sweat rolling down his forehead. His face is
He's
very
like
red.
fevering from the break.
Yeah. And as you cast the spell, you see like a little relief come across his face, but he still looks in pretty rough shape. He's not guarding his arm quite the same way he was before. He can move his finger, so like it definitely helped, but he's still not great.
I think I'd want to take a quick look at his arm because it seems like that's the worst injury we're dealing with at the moment before trudging on and continuing that.
Medicine
Give me a
check.
medicine check.
Yeah. It's not my best, but I can try it. That's a 4.
His arm's broken, that's for sure.
Great, cool. Can I tell where? Is it like forearm,
Yeah, it's
or
right.
is it-
Yeah, in fact, you know what? I'll tell you, it's broken like at the elbow.
shit.
Yeah. Because like Strahd like grabbed his wrist and like,
like-
yoink. Yeah. So it's broken
Great.
like at the elbow.
All right, cool.
Yep, that's broken.
Can
Try not to move it. Let's go.
Drogar do a medicine check to try to get a branch to like
Splint it?
give him a splint?
Yeah, do a medicine check. Yeah.
And I'm at disadvantage, right? Because I'm at
Exhaustion. Yeah.
exhaustion. one.
Correct. Disadvantage on ability checks. Yep.
Oh, that's not going to do it.
Physician, guide thyself.
I think the best thing is if we just got out of these goddamn woods.
I couldn't agree more with you. Shall we forward? Yes.
Wait. And you're sort of like picking up and packing up and like getting ready to go. And Emil speaks. Before we go, I know this might not be the best time, but there's something you need to know. And Zuleika quickly interjects. Oh, Emil, we didn't get a good night's sleep. You've been through a lot. Just let's go. Yeah? It's a good idea. Get to
What?
wherever we're going.
No. Let the man speak.
I'm sorry I haven't been more forthcoming, but... no, he's not speaking sense. He was in a dungeon for however long. Zuleika, please. They bled for us. They're part of the pack. They'd love to know, at least. Oh, you noble idiot! You go off so determined to get yourself killed or captured or worse. Well, meanwhile, I'm the one who's going to stay behind and keep these pups alive. Fine! But I won't be a part of it. And she storms off. He's just sitting there, still pretty weakly. I know you embarked on this venture to get rid of Kirill. We can have our fight. We may win. Maybe. But there's no one left in that pack that'll answer to me. And so even if we kill Kirill, I don't know. However, I'm his sire. If you kill me, he won't be able to answer the call. I thought you deserved to know. That's why he had to have me locked away, and not just killed outright. You've already sacrificed so much, and I know not for me, per se, but you sacrificed nonetheless, and it didn't feel right not making it known.
What does that mean?
If you kill me, he won't be a wolf anymore.
What about the rest of them?
Any wolves made by his bite will continue to be, unless you killed him.
Do we have to do this?
No, you don't have to do anything, but it's an easier way than challenging him to a fight.
But we don't have to.
Well, you're bound by no law to do any such.
If we kill you, and there are still other werewolves faithful to him, one of them will just bite him. We need you alive just as badly as he did.
And then she calls back to Zuleika.
And as for you, anything else you want to tell us? We're not going to kill your husband, but if you are hiding anything else from me, I'm going to kill you.
Normally I would be opposed to siding with Kaz's barbaric ways, but on this I do certainly have to agree. You have not been forthcoming with us.
Oh, have I? And if the secret to killing Strahd was to cut the head off the little one, you'd just go ahead and do it, would you?
No. And that is where you and I are different. You assumed that if we knew the knowledge about your love and how he turned Kirill, that we would take his life.
I didn't assume anything. I didn't know what you would do if you knew. But if there was a chance that my husband would be killed, based on something I said, after I already threw my life away, put my children in danger, to aid you, yes, I kept some things to myself.
And what have we given for your cause?
Don't you make it a measuring contest. I've lived here far longer than you. You think just because you've come to this valley and now it's drawn your blood, you think you're entitled to everything I've ever thought, spoken, or felt?
Winnie walks away. She starts looking for twigs in the forest.
Kaz enters a rage. I want to full-on tackle Zuleika right now.
Roll to hit.
Disadvantage because exhaustion?
Yeah.
Probably.
Well, no, that would be... What level are you at?
I'm level 8. I'm trying to do a grapple.
It's just ability checks. So,
okay.
Unless if you're only level 2, which I think you are,
No, I'm down to level 1.
then no, you're good.
Okay. I'm gonna pass on that, Drogar. I don't think you. I'm trying to be very, very surprising with this. Okay, so if I'm doing an athletics check, that's going to be a 22.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What? Yeah. Go ahead.
Just like full on like tackle, roll, thunk against the ground, like hand around her throat.
I asked you a simple question, and anything but a simple answer is going to end with your blood spilled across these rocks. I don't care if your husband sees it.
You feel a hand on your shoulder. It's Emil. Please take your hands off my wife.
If there is anything else that we need to know about either of you.
There's not. She sought to protect me. Would you do differently for your family?
Look straight into Zuleika's eyes.
Is that true?
Gets up. She gets off.
I understand. You're angry. And tensions are high.
You haven't seen angry!
Kaz storms off.
Look, we're all just doing what we need to survive. You can't blame Zuleika. What would you do? Everybody's different, and if we want to get out of this alive, it requires different people to work together.
Correct. But it also requires you to perhaps use a different train of thought. I understand, Zuleika, that you feared for your husband's life, but have we not, in the past 24 hours, shown that we have your best interest in mind?
Now, Master Drogar, one as long-lived as you, I think, can reasonably ascertain that the speed of trust is somewhat slower than that.
Well, you are correct. However, we do not have such time.
Let there be no secrets between us anymore. You've bled for us. You're part of the pack.
We have not just bled for you, Emil. We have died for you. There is a difference. I cannot get back what is dead. And Drogar will turn and go after Kaz. And after Winnie, who may or may not be in the same direction.
Yeah, where's Winnie?
She walked through the woods when it seemed like, I think with 2 levels of exhaustion, she's having trouble understanding what everybody's talking about. Mm-hmm. And it's also very adult and doesn't feel important to her. Mm-hmm. None of this feels important. Mm-hmm. And so she takes a little walk through the woods and she finds she's looking for twigs so that she can cast spells. Mm-hmm. And she's just picking up little twigs and putting them in her bag. And then towards the end of the conversation, she just walks over to where Artie is and just sits down.
Trevor will reach out to Kaz. I don't know if you've stopped or if you're still marching, but
she's marching, but she's aware of the fact that not everyone is immediately behind her, so she's marching a little slower.
Yeah. Kaz,
what?
We should wait for the little one.
She'll just call out, Winnie!
What?
I don't know what you're doing, but do it in this direction.
I'm not doing anything.
That's fine too. Just stay close.
I need to retrieve Artemis as well.
I'll walk slowly.
So yeah, you can move over to Artemis's body, and you find Winnie sat right next to it.
As you start walking over, she gets up and starts walking after Kaz.
Drogar will take Artemis, strap him to his back again, and
Carry on.
put his shield on. Yeah, do the whole 9 yards.
It's much easier moving now that it's daylight.
So we have this sort of like tense conversation, which doesn't really land anywhere. It's just all that we're just going to keep doing what we're doing is kind of the takeaway from that tense conversation.
Yeah.
It's complicated right now. It's a little fucked up right now.
It's complicated right now.
We don't have to be friends. We just have to work together.
But like as soon as you kind of like get yourselves together and pick yourselves up and start walking again, you are met by a band of berserkers. They kind of like rise up out of the brush and bushes and foliage around you. They're just so distinct, all with the bright crimson hair and big beards and kind of covered in like leather and like mud and leaves, and you know they just kind of cover themselves in the land so that they move through it unseen. But yeah, they kind of pick their heads up and say, "Sorry, I heard your summons. I think you'd better follow us. There's something you'll want to be attending to."
Oh, shit.
As soon as we arrive in this moment, Winnie is still a little bit unresponsive, and even more so for a second as we come upon them, and has a flashback to the last moment we encountered the berserkers in the woods, and that was the moment
Pasha
that
ran away.
we lost Pasha the first time around.
Dang it.
Who is it that travels with you?
And they see the berserker say, looking at Pasha, not Pasha, Dimitri.
Not Pasha.
Not Pasha.
Zuleika.
Zuleika, Emil,
yeah.
and Dimitri. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they know Dimitri, but Zuleika and Emil.
Allies of ours. For now.
Not friends, but yes, allies.
As you say, Kavan.
Is Daria all right?
Oh, aye.
Okay.
Indeed. Strong as ever, but just follow us.
Okay. Should have led with that, but
I will look back at
I'll let
Emil.
it slide.
I'll look back at Emil and go, not a movement out of place, not a word otherwise, or they will kill you both.
Emil goes like, he just kind of holds his hands up resignedly and gives you like a little shrug. Zuleika has a sour look on her face and she goes,
Drogar will get an inch from her and go, is there a
All right, that's enough. Come on. We're all on the same side. Let's go.
People keep getting up in this lady's face, and her husband is
He's very chill about it.
Somebody's gonna die.
Let us not forget she's a fucking werewolf and can transform at any moment.
Also, I
That's
don't
what
like
I'm
her.
worried about.
Okay. But
Mostly,
also trying to prevent her from getting killed by the berserkers. Like,
Fair enough.
and then we have a bigger problem of Emil fighting the berserkers.
I'm not trafficking in adult conversations right now.
Right. Very fair.
so,
You know.
Stealing that.
led by the escort of berserkers, it's much simpler to get through the forest, and soon you get the sounds of camp and the smell of the forge, and you arrive back on Yester Hill. And as you do so, the sort of like company of berserkers who found you were like, you know where Zaria's tent is. If there are any amenities amongst the camp that you'll be needing, we're happy to share. What is ours is yours, Kavan.
Kaz is so exhausted, she just like bear hugs this guy.
Well, yes.
It's good to see a friendly face. It's a long story.
Well, glad to see you. Glad to have you all back.
Is something wrong? Is something bad?
Well, that was... Go see Zaria.
I look up at Cass.
Yeah, she's already like power walking.
You do so. And of course, as making your way through the camp, everyone recognizes you at this point. Those you pass bow in deference to Kaz. And before too long, you come to Zaria's sort of central tent. And making your way inside, you feel that familiar sort of like warmth of the fire, the fire from the forge bouncing off the leather walls of the tent. And you see Zaria sat on her big on her big throne off to one side, and sitting in her lap is Sasha.
Oh my god.
Just kind of curled up into a perfect circle on Zaria's huge lap. And Zaria is just kind of giving soft, gentle strokes all the length of Sasha's body. And as you make your way into the tent, she kind of looks up and says,
This one
out on its own? What happened?
Artemis fell.
Strahd ambushed us, and we lost Artemis.
It makes me very, very happy to see that she found you.
Oh, it weren't me. She were found by my chief scout. Poor thing, half starved and frozen. But I knew when I saw her all by her lonesome something must have happened. He's really gone.
Kaz just nods grimly.
Well, not gone. I have him, but yes, gone.
Why? Have you any inkling of what to do with the remains?
Yes,
We'd be proud to host him here.
if you would allow it.
This place has served for the burial grounds of all Arcane for thousands of years.
He deserves to be among warriors.
And he will be. I am sorry, my friend. Kaban, it's a great loss. We've all lost loved ones to the devil. You're really part of the tribe now. I'm sure you've been through a lot. Rest here. Take advantage of all we have. It's yours. It's the least I can offer. And as for this one, she looks down at Sasha, who hasn't even, I think she's still probably asleep. And she's still, shivering a little bit. She was found half starved and injured by my chief scout. He could tell you more about exactly where he found her and how, if you're interested.
Where is he?
Skjolgar! You see entering the tent. Really tall human. With crimson red hair, the same color as Zarya's. Pulled back into a sort of long ponytail braid, which falls down their back, the sides of their head completely shaved, right? And you see sort of the leathers that all of the berserkers generally wear, and you can see got a huge bow kind of slung across his back, with the string kind of cutting across his chest as he makes his way in. This is Skjolgar Olaf, chief scout since my sister was in charge. Rest yourselves. You're a guest of honor. Skjolgar, if you'll do me a favor, just stay with them. If they need anything, see to it, eh? And he sort of gives a nod.
Yeah.
Skjolgar, is there a tent that we can call our own while we're here?
Go ahead, Skjolgar. I'm not your boss.
I just said I'm not your mom.
Not your mother, Skjolgar.
What is this guy's name? I haven't taken a single note.
I know, me neither.
Olaf.
I'll ask him.
Skjolgar Olaf.
Yeah, so Drogar looks at Skjolgar and goes, Skjolgar, lead us to a tent where we may look our wounds.
Of course. Drogar it is, right? Why, yes!
He's back, baby!
Amazing!
Amazing!
I hoped. I was like, wait a second.
Go, guys!
Wait a second. We're going to Yester Hill. What if Tyler's a berserker? I know. I think. Oh my god.
So Drogar looks at him and goes, yes. Yes.
I don't need to write that name down anymore. Forget it. That's okay. I'm going back to not having taken a single note tonight.
I'm sorry. I'm a bit at a loss for words right now.
We got a place for you to lay your head down. And he'll go over and he'll give Sasha a quick pet. And then just kind of check on her then. And then lead everyone out.
She, at your approach, Olaf, she raises her head just a little bit, and puts the ears back, and she just lets you do a few scritches, but she can barely manage more than just lifting her head up.
Yeah, and he just gently starts at the top of the head and rolls over the cheek and just cups her cheek and gives her a few scratches.
She seems calm. The rest of you note.
Yeah. I think everything, much like me right now, everything just comes crashing down.
That's great. I think that's perfect. I think all of you just start crying.
Kaz lets out
You're a real bastard, Trevor.
It's Tyler's idea.
Oh
It was
my
Tyler's
God.
idea.
You're a real bastard, Tyler.
It was Tyler's idea.
If anyone who's like, if Kaz is in the corner of your eye shot, you just notice that she's just shaking. Like, she's just shaking. And then, like, it just, as if a volcano has erupted, she just, like, head back, full-throated roar towards the sky, just screams. And she just falls to her knees, like 2 fists on the ground, just weeping, just like waterfalls pouring out of her eyes. She's like, everything that she has been putting off to the side for survival's sake since Strahd showed up is just rushing up to the surface, and she's incapacitated.
You feel huge hand on your shoulder. I'm kind of like, it rests on your shoulder and then moves and like maybe gently up and down on your back. Hi, as you were.
She is, however, she's going to be in this state for, let's say, roughly 10 minutes.
Sure.
In that time, she's going to ritually cast Speak with Animals.
Okay.
Oh my God.
Okay.
She's going to ritually cast Speak with
Oh
Animals.
my
Okay, doesn't Campbell cry enough for one night?
No. So after 10 minutes of full-throated bawling, and I'm going to start crying now too, Kaz just looks up at Sasha and says, I don't need you to say anything. I just need you to hear that I'm sorry. And she resumes crying.
And I think, at that point, Sasha lifts her head and kind of, turns it all around. And as she sees you all, you see her pupils open up, so she's got big eyes. And she kind of like rolls a little roly-poly onto the floor, and she's limping a little bit, but she gingerly makes her way over to the 3 of you, and just kind of like falls. She starts like weaving in between your legs, pushing up against in that way that cats do. And as she looks into your eyes, Kaz, as you speak to her. And then she maybe comes to you last and winds her way around your legs and just lays down on top of your feet.
Yeah. Kaz can't move. She's going to be here for like at least an hour.
Yeah, you're welcome to stay. Yeah, the time is so. I think we're just going to move in. Like today is just going to be just what you need it to be. The time is yours. You're in the berserker camp. You have a new friend who can show you around or answer questions or whatever you like. But the time is yours. You have the berserker camp.
Nice to meet you. I'm your queen.
I've had a lot of time to think about how I'm going to do this. Drogar goes out and asks Olaf how he asks him to help him build a funeral pyre. Olaf, I would require you to, and perhaps a few of your strongest men and women, to help me build a funeral pyre for my departed friend.
Unfortunately, we've become quite good at it.
Yes.
God damn it.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Well, for those of you listening, this is a table full of crying people.
This is a mess.
We're a mess.
Awful! I figured I'd get something done tonight, but
You folks listen to this? There's just a bunch of people crying.
So I imagine we see this montage of like...
Does everyone want to help in, or is anybody doing
If
anything
they're still
else?
working on it by the time I get like my senses back to me, yeah.
I want to reiterate. I want to retcon. I'm not doing the funeral service. I think it's just
building the pyre.
The process of us building the pyre.
Yeah.
Because it does take a long time to do.
Yeah. It's a lot of stuff that needs
Obviously, when it actually happens, we'll all be gathered around, and but I think for now, I think it's just the process of like getting the body ready and doing all that stuff that we have to do. So
yeah.
I think he just silently goes about it. This is part of the process, so I don't want to interrupt it for you. I'm there, I'll do it with you, but I'm letting you deal with it on your own. So I'm there the whole time, but I'm not going to say anything unless you say something to me. Otherwise, it's just silently going about the work.
And as we see like these trees, we see like some trees just like coming down in the distance, and like we see like bears coming from the forest with the logs like in their mouths, just like carrying them. You know what I mean? Like moving them up and like putting them in position of like layering them and then layering them.
Zarya clears a space for you sort of at the center of the hill, like not too far from her very own tent. Yeah. So right at the precipice of the hill.
Drogar has this area that's kind of like dusted off. He's laid Artemis down. And what he's going to do mechanically is he's going to cast Ceremony. And he's going to cast Funeral Rite. And mechanically that means that he can't become undead for 7 days. Mm-hmm. But really what I think he's doing is he's prettying up the body. He's like
preparing it to be shown.
Yeah. Yeah. The process of making sure that the hair is like bound right and braided right. He's got like a bucket of water and he's washing the blood out of the clothing, making sure that the bowstring is taut again. You know.
Imagine as he's doing the hair, he gets that moment of already being like, I think Esmeralda will like my hair.
Yeah, he's seeing these images of Artemis and he's like having these moments of like you falling into the ice trap in the river and being like, Jesus, it's fucking cold.
And raining spears.
Yeah, like running out of the forest away from the berserkers. And like we see all these flashbacks of these moments and like Drogar he leans over the body and he just like puts his head in his hands. Yeah, I think he just breaks down because he made it so far with us, and then to lose him like that. Artemis, I'm so sorry. I should have just said the words. I should have said I was scared. I'm so sorry.
Anything, would Kaz, Winnie, while this process is happening, while Drogar is attending to the body and seeing to the construction of the pyre?
Kaz will be helping with the pyre. This is how they took care of their dead in the desert as well. The ground was too hard to bury anyone, so they would always do. They would burn, yeah.
I have 2 levels of exhaustion, so I think I'm sick. I think I'm just sick. And so I think that if it is okay, like I think that I'll sit with Sasha on the ground.
Yeah.
And like just watch.
Yeah, she curls around you and you kind of like rest your head against her chest and you can feel that like the vibration of her purring. Mm-hmm. As you put your head to the side, it's kind of like it happened. With Sasha, I can't even imagine because when I put my ear against Dusty's chest, it like just goes through the whole body. So I can't even imagine what it's like with a whole Sasha. You know what I mean?
I do a big hug on her and I just kind of rest and watch everybody work and feed her little pieces of food that I have in my bag if she'll take it.
Great. At a certain point, Winnie, you hear these, you like shake a little bit as these big thundering footsteps make their way over to you, and you see Zarya approaching you, and she kind of like kneels down, and she has her head between her knees, like crouching down so that she's like eye level with you.
So she's looking down.
Yeah, she's still looking down at you, and her head is between her knees. She says, "What are you feeling, little one? You don't have to say. I just know when you're small, when you're so wee, feelings they take up your whole body."
My Uncle Ham used to say wee.
Oh, aye?
Mm-hmm.
It's a good word.
Mm-hmm.
Accurate to describe one small.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't know if I'm feeling not really much at all, or just so much that it's just kind of letting me be.
Not much of a difference at the end of the day, I suppose.
I don't know. I think maybe there is, because if it's the second one, then it's gonna happen at some point.
You'll be all right, wee one. I promise. I know it feels right now like this'll never end. You'll feel this sad the rest of your days. But it will end. It always does. And we all survive.
But what if it's been too much all too fast? You know?
No such thing, little one. We're endless. You and I. So's Artemis.
But where is he now? Because
he's a lot safer than you, wee one.
Are you sure? Because I had heard that bad stuff happens to souls here.
Bad things happen in Barovia all the time. But the thing about this gloom is that it can't stand love. Can't stand it. Do you remember what this hill used to look like?
Mm-hmm.
Barren, empty, cold. A playground for monsters and madness. Well, now look at it. And you look around and you see children running. You see people making armor and food. You see people going about their business. You see people laughing. You see people crying. You see people existing. We make what drives away the fog, Winnie. It'll be okay. Where's that, wee one who was with you? With the one eye. Is he okay?
He's not here anymore.
Tragic to lose one so young.
No, I don't know where he is now.
What? Oh, you mean he left you?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, don't you worry about that. Boys always run away when they don't know what they're feeling. He'll be back.
I second that.
I think that really actually makes Winnie laugh for a second.
Hey, I didn't think of it that way.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, you're a tough little peanut. You'll be right.
Okay.
She puts a huge, I think her hand is like the whole size of your back.
Yeah.
But still, yeah. But she gives you a few very gentle pats on the back.
Okay.
And just kind of gets up and,
That's like me patting this beer can and not knocking it over. Like, I think that's
takes a lot of restraint.
Yeah.
Not near your
Wait.
computer, Kay.
Yeah.
Not near the computer.
Not again.
Place your hand patting
I
on
literally think that is like Zarya patting Winnie on the back is literally like me patting this beer can and not knocking it over. But even then, like, just I've like moved it a lot. Like that for Winnie is like, oh.
Very gentle.
Yeah, I think Winnie is really locked up right now. I think she's feeling too many feelings to know how to deal with. And she's thinking a lot about her mom and wishing that, like, there could be somebody there to, like, tell her that this has happened before.
Mm-hmm.
And that people have gotten through this for as long as, like, history. But she doesn't have somebody there to do that. So she just keeps snuggling Sasha and watching everybody. But is grateful that she had a laugh.
Drogar, if any, we cut back to this, like, this vision, this montage,
Mm-hmm.
and the body is now preserved. It's like, it looks like Artemis once did. And Drogar has taken off his armor and his shield, and he's got his robe on, and he's sitting there. And he takes Artemis's broken bow, and he holds it in his hands. And he closes his eyes, and he takes a deep breath. And he casts a divination.
Okay. What are you looking for?
And we then, like, go inside to Drogar. And it shows a younger Drogar, like what he sees himself as when he communes with his god. And he's standing there, and his arms are crossed, and he's in this white room. And he's like,
"Where are you? I have been calling for you, and you have not reached out to me.
I have been your humble servant for centuries, and I am on my last legs.
Where are you?"
Is that your question?
Yes.
I see you're talking to your god, and I raise you one wisdom saving throw. Wisdom saving throw, please.
That is a 22.
Okay. So you're in this sort of void that you've kind of transported yourself to try and to desperately try to. You've tried playing nice.
I did. I've tried.
You really have. You really have.
I've written letters. I wrote an email. I called your helpline.
Mm-hmm. So you're in this place.
Maybe it's a longer pause than I would have liked.
Suddenly, in this void, fog starts filling in. It starts to get foggy.
And his mace isn't there, his shield isn't there, and he's like, oh. But he's ready.
And you hear a voice up here.
I told you, Drogar.
I'm your god here.
No.
No, you're not.
I have power over life and death, do I not? Have you not seen it? No.
You will never be my god.
I promise you, Trevor. I offer you something no other ruler can. A way out.
Give your gifts and your temptations to those who will fall for it.
Terrible place for someone to die.
But a worthy cause at that. And Drogar will pull himself out of his divination.
As you go,
No.
as you turn to go, you
know.
try to pull yourself. Your spiritual self turns around and he's standing right there.
Oh my god.
Damn it!
Fucker. Fuck this guy.
Isn't this all enough, Trevor? Aren't you tired? Wouldn't you just rather go home?
You know, it's interesting that you should mention home, Strahd. Because home is not a place.
Oh, no. Then I beg. What is it?
Home is wherever your heart may lie.
You fucking heroes. So boring, so noble, so ready to give your lives for a noble cause. It takes all the fucking fun out of your murder.
And he vanishes, and you see a white, blinding light. And Drogar,
Oh my god.
you are at the bottom of the waterfall, where you were. Everybody went over the cliff.
Yeah.
That
You're at the bottom of the waterfall. And this blinding light comes from way up high, way up at the top of the falls. You're by the bank. The water is pounding down. You can feel the spray off the rocks. Right? Yeah. And you see this bright light at the top. And it's all, it grows brighter and brighter and brighter to such a point that even you, Drogar, you have to shield your eyes for a moment. And then looking back, a great golden dragon in all its majesty stands at the height of the falls and it rears its serpentine head back looking down at you. And you see it spread its magnificent wings out. A powerful figure, ancient, deadly, forceful, primordial. It spreads its wings out. You feel the wind as it lifts into the air, and it kind of angles itself down, its serpentine head leading, and it kind of just starts to dive down towards the bottom of the falls towards you, and then boom! It slams against something and splinters into 1,000 tiny pieces, like starlight. And one by one, these glimmering pin drops of light start to go out, one at a time, like stars winking out of existence, until one is left. One ray of light that travels down ever so gently, so slowly, like the lilting carrying of a butterfly's wings, just kind of floats down and goes right here. And you snap back to reality.
I think Drogar just collapses and he's like, I knew it. And he catches Artemis's form, and he's just like, oh, my dear friend, my dear friend. I'm sorry I could not deliver you from this place. But you have my word on my life. If it is the last thing I do, I will deliver your soul to the afterlife. Even if it is exchanged for mine, I will take you from this place. You will not be stuck here. And Drogar will kind of rise up from his knees and walk toward everybody else to kind of gather them for the funeral. Drogar will walk into the hut where Winnie and Sasha are.
Mm-hmm.
She's still there, cuddle up with Sasha.
Yeah, we're sitting outside the hut where we can see everybody setting this up. And I'm kind of hugging Sasha around the neck and laying my head on her and giving her pets.
Coming together here, it is at that moment that you hear the turning of cartwheels and the lumbering of horse hooves making their way up the side of the hill. Mm-hmm. And kind of coming up over the bend around a series of tents is a wagon drawn by a horse. On the bench sits Davian Mardukov.
Oh.
And leaning out of the side is Dimitri, Danica, Erwin, Irina, everybody. Dimitri kind of like leans his head out and gets down. And I hope I don't overstep, but I wanted to make sure everyone was here. So I flew. And, well, I didn't want to trouble you. You've all been through quite enough.
Jurger will put a hand on his shoulder and look at Danica and go, "It's a good man you've raised.
It's a good man we've lost. But you listen to me." And Danica puts a hand on your shoulder. This is the end. Not by half. We will repay this loss 20 times over. I promise you. You all have done more than enough for this valley. It is time. It is time. We do ours. We have long looked for a name for our little revolution. And I think we have one now. You, the people of Valaki, the Berserkers, henceforth we shall be known as the Alliance of the Silverbow.
Murder, Trevor.
Just welcome to our podcast.
If this is your first episode,
That's episode 1.
we usually don't cry.
Give that a listen.
We have some fun ones.
We have some really good episodes.
We make jokes.
Welcome
We
to
We laugh a lot. It's not just crying, I promise.
welcome to our podcast. A bunch of drunk crying 30-somethings
Oh my god.
where we make up characters and kill them and cry about it.
Oh my god.
Enjoy our catharsis. We've all got some really serious issues we need to work through.
For your viewing.
We do it for your entertainment.
Strahdcast features Campbell O'Hare as Winnie, Ned Price Iannacone as Drogar, Kay Devine Jones as Kaz, Tyler Kanter as Artemis, and me, Trevor William Fayle, as your DM.
It's raining patrons. Special shout out to our newest patrons, Megan R, Luna the Starlight, and Launchpad. Don't forget Samantha Duchamp. Welcome to the team.
If you're not ready to support us financially, there are still plenty of ways to help us out. You can follow us on TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram at Critical Fail DM, binge Madness and Mercy on our YouTube channel, and join us there every other Sunday at noon Eastern Standard Time when we do live listens of new episodes of the Strahdcast. Or rate and leave us a review wherever you like to listen. Thanks, Dungeoneers, and take your day with advantage.